What's up? Nick with 666 Serpents. Hope everyone's doing well. This is Sippin with Serpents episode 2. We got Black Lagoon Creature in the back creeping around. We got my co-host, the Choochie of the all Choochies, Justin with Pressure Pythons. What's up, buddy?
What up? How you doing tonight, my dude?
All right. What's up, Tyson? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, you know.
Good.
Another day, another beer.
PBR.
Y'all know I was drinking some other beer, everybody. It was from Louisiana. It has an alligator. I think it's called Alabama or something. I don't know. It should be called Poopy because it tasted like dip spit. It was like Cajun down there at the brewery. You're just spitting in my dang bottles or something. I don't know, man, but I just went ahead.
Alligator snake piss. That's what it was. Alligator snake piss.
It tasted like swamp water. Like they went down there to the bayou and glug, filled it up a little bit and then put a couple malt liquor or something in it. Or I don't know, dude. But it was not good.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start popping on some chats over here.
Let's get that going.
I got your double dipping ass up here.
I got to tell everyone to share, sub, and hit the bell, That's
come on. You got Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin's a cool guy, everybody. Go to Instagram and follow around, clowning around.
The pink man himself.
2%. 2%.
Yeah. The brother himself.
What up, Dan the man?
Got Mark, the damn rat bastard.
What's up, you rat bastard?
He is too. He's sneaky. He is a little rat bastard.
Oh, no. What's up, Brave?
What's up, Brave?
That's an OG right there.
No,
all right, Ken. I did it for Ken.
And you got the zombie.
Yeah, that's the man. He's probably at home. As soon as he's seen it, he probably said it at home to himself,
He did. He did. He's get him in the chat.
For sure. What up, Tom Bond?
Let's see. You got anybody else? Yo, Fry. Oh, Chris. Good day, mate.
All the way from Australia.
That's the homie, too.
Yeah, he's always been around.
How the monitors doing, Fry?
Oh, yeah, he's got some cool monitors now.
He got them bell fades, man. He got bell fades. What's cheap there and expensive as hell here, more or less. He can get it for like a couple $100 there. Here, woo, don't spend that money.
What up?
We got there he is. Good edge, Justin.
Hey, mate. Throw another shrimp on the body.
Look at Edge up there.
Oh, goodness.
All right, I guess that's about it for anybody in the chat.
Well, heck yeah. I hope everybody out there watching this is having a fantastic night. We're just going to be hanging out with Tyson from Black Lagoon. But Tyson, if you want to tell us, how you got into it really quick, and we'll go from there. I mean, did you always start out with ball pythons, or what's the story there?
No, I think with like a lot of people, start out as a kid, going to the fields, catching the common lizards here in California, bringing them back to my house. Parents telling me I couldn't keep them. Eventually, I got to keep some of them, and then I just taught myself there. I mean, back in that day, you would have to go to the library at your school to get all the information if they had anything about reptiles. So I kind of had to wing it on my own, figure it out. But
what was that, like late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s? What about that time frame?
Yeah, the whole time frame where you just had to come home as soon as the street lights came on, that type deal, right? Yeah. A little different now. But then I got into it as soon as I got my first red-tailed boa.
Okay, so that was like your first. Yeah. It was your pet, it was everything to you, like your pet basically, and that was the first reptile you purchased, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I got the setup, got the little baby. It was a male. Brought it back home, and then I just started going into the very basic pastel. Didn't know much about ball pythons. Saw the bright colors, and just started going from there. Just the basic codoms. I got my first rack. I think it was sea serpents, like a 4-stack, 5-stack. just from there, man, fell off a little bit because of work commitments. Ended up selling a bunch of my snakes, and I just got back into it last year.
Hell yeah! So you're out in California, you said?
Yeah, we're in San Bernardino County in the high desert.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. So that's what you predominantly keep is ball pythons?
Yeah, at the moment, because I had bought my kid maybe like 3 years ago. Bought my kid a piebald, just there in I think Fountain Valley, more so closer to Riverside. So he had it in his room, and then I was like, you know what? I'm at this age, can't really skateboard as much as I would like to because of my knees and ankles and all that. I remember when I was super excited about these reptiles, and then it just took off like a flash flood from there.
That's how it usually happens. It's like an addiction, kind of, like tattoos or something,
Exactly. You start itching, especially when you go to the shows. You always start itching,
So out of all the time you've been herping, and you've been looking at, a lot of species by now in your life. I'm sure, definitely the local species, and you said it was a red-tailed boa that was your first purchase. That's a pretty intense snake to have for your first reptile, or snake in the house in a tank or whatever. So, saying that, what's your favorite species, and like why do you like that? It doesn't have to be, a ball python or a snake, but I'm saying out of all the time that you've spent learning about reptiles, what would you say that would be?
I did have a breeding pair of frilled lizards, the Australian frilled lizards. I love those. I like those because of when I saw Jurassic Park as the kid. Yeah, I was like, these are amazing. I got the female first, and then I understood that you really don't. I mean, it's cool when they do it, but you don't really want to provoke them to do it, type deal.
Right. Yeah.
But I had a leash for it, that with a little collar, and it would go with me everywhere.
Well, I bet it did. I bet it did good up there where you're at, right? Like,
oh yeah,
the atmosphere and the everything, the humidity was right, everything. I'm sure,
Yeah, it was an amazing pet, and then I really liked the caiman lizards. I had a huge enclosure for that with its tub and everything. Feed it the snail meals that it needed. That thing was awesome too.
So back then, about how long ago was that? Is that 90s still?
That was like 2015.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's not too long ago then.
I was gonna ask, where did you get your snails in the 90s? Because back then it was difficult to find certain things. I know, back then it was way different, but I'm sure they didn't have websites you could just go to.
No.
Because I remember reptile keeping in the 90s, like you said, like 94, something like that. When I was a kid, and we had our iguana, and he was 6 foot long. We'd take him everywhere, and we had a cage for him outside for the summer. I mean, he was 6 foot fucking long. He was huge. Yeah. And we didn't know anything that we know now about him, but he lived for so long. He was huge and healthy, and this is coming from the time period, like I always say it, when they tell you to buy a heat rock and plug her in. I had a heat rock for my damn leopard gecko when I was a kid, from when I was 5 until I moved out of the house and gave the lizard away, because I couldn't take it with me that long, and it had a heat rock, and it had sand, in the 90s you didn't know, and it had a turtle shell, a deer antler, a water dish, and it was sand, and then it had a heat rock. That was it.
Dude, my mom had, like, growing up, she had a bunch of parrots, and we had a big ass iguana named Marley, and all she had was a dog pillow that she had on the ground, and she had a lamp that hung from the ceiling that came probably 4 or 5 foot off the pillow that always stayed on. And he would go crawl on his pillow and sit there and eat the lamp. But half the time we had a screen and porch, he'd go hang on the screen and porch all damn day, And she would literally put dog food bowls down for him, and he would go to his bowls.
And what's funny that you say that? Because back in the 90s, guess what they told you to feed iguanas?
What?
And dog food, crickets.
Oh no, we did kale and all that shit. She didn't get
vegetables too, but they told you when it was a baby in the early 90s when you bought an iguana to feed it high protein diet. like crickets and
That's
stuff
crazy.
like that. Now that is blasphemy. You do not feed a freaking insect to
Right.
an iguana. But if you think about it, it is a lizard. It's out. If it's out in the wild, it might eat that. It might.
Right.
They eat bird. They'll eat baby birds. You know what I mean? In a nest, they will definitely do that. I've seen videos of them doing that. So, you know, it's kind of weird. It's like you got to kind of weigh the scales of a pet keeper at that point.
Right.
I didn't feed my iguana, my blue iguana. I never fed it protein like that.
Oh hell no. We did. My mom. I remember her like buying big bags with like kale and shit, you know, and fruits. She'd go out there and give him fruits and stuff. But like, he was spoiled. But I remember there's days where you go up to him and he'd give you that look, and you're like, "Ah, you don't want to be touched today."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's some days you walk to him and he's like, "All right, give me that chin scratch, you know, give me that back rub," and you're like, "All right, come here, bro."
I would go get my monitor Ducky and let y'all see her, but dude, I got to trim her nails. I held her the other day, and it is like for real some claws. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, and she's not even trying. And then I got rocks in there and everything for her, and dude, it does not help. I mean, it like the iguana we had, it was 6 foot long, and it got so big that you couldn't hold it no more because it was just so heavy and big that its claws would rip you apart. Like it would literally, you'd have to go get stitches, and it would just be chilling on you.
Well, my bearded dragon's out because you know how the outside enclosures they stay out all year long. I have like the ramps that go up to their shelves. It's grip tape. So literally all day long when they're going up and down the ramps, it's their nails. Like it's kind of crazy for them being outside. Every time I pick them up, I'm like, your nails don't even need trimming. Y'all are like out here just going up and down all day long, you know?
Well, when she was smaller, her nails would stay trimmed. We got Benny in the house. What up, Bone Daddy?
Oh, Benny.
But yeah, and you know, since you live out there, I mean, I don't know the native animals, but is there a particularly interesting or unusual reptile that you've worked with being out there that most people might not ever see? I mean, I don't know what do they have beaded lizards out there? I mean, I don't really know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think anything in particular like that. There's like common California lizards. That was the very first one that I had caught. Actually, yeah, I would go to the fields and I was chasing this one lizard one time. They were building houses, so there's a bunch of sandbags, moving the sandbags, and that lizard was chilling right next to the tarantula. I'm like, all right, gotta back up a little bit. And then I moved the tarantula, and that was the first one I was able to keep at my house.
Oh, that's wicked.
so y'all have wild tarantulas
I was
now.
gonna say wild tarantulas. That's pretty crazy.
Me and Justin will never go. Like, we're not going.
Never, never.
Do you keep spiders?
No, I don't fuck with those.
Yeah, they're scary, right? I mean, I don't.
I've held them. I've held tarantulas. I mean, the blue ones, the blue tarantulas, whatever they're called, blue cobalt, something like that. I mean, they're pretty, but I put it on my hand and they start rubbing their legs together with all the fibers. I'm good.
Right.
That's
my girlfriend's got like 20 something tarantulas. I'm petrified of every one of them. I can't touch none of them. I'm scared of them. She's like, "Babe, help me." I'm like, "What are you asking me to help you for? I can't even get close to it."
Are they out there or are they in the house?
Oh hell no, they're not out here. They're in the house.
Well, when I come to visit, I'm sleeping in the snake room, dog.
Right.
I'll bring an air mattress, but even 20.
But no, I keep hot shot like hanging around. I don't know. I have expensive snakes, so like I told you, Nick, I keep like KG does. All the big breeders do. They keep hot shots around in their breeding rooms. I do that too. So having insects, the spiders, even the praying mantis, I can't keep them. I'm not going to keep them in this room because it's worth the chance of them dying, more or less.
Yeah, that's what you told me, and I'm glad I didn't. You know, like for me, I've never had a problem with pests or nothing. You know, I mean, I never have. So I've never done nothing like that. And when you told me that you can just put them outside and around the rat racks, because you know yours is in the garage, mine's outside on the screen porch, and there is pests out there, you know, and that keeps them away. That to me is very useful information, and I'm super happy that you told me that. Now,
I mean, if you have dogs, cats, anything, they can go outside in the yard and bring anything inside that you don't want around your snakes. You know what I mean? Like I said, we spend money on these collections. So when you get money invested in these collections, you don't want to see that shit go down the drain. So you're going to take any and every precaution make sure you know. That's how I feel about it.
Do you, Tyson? Do you use any kind of hot shot? You know, the little squares, the little yellow square insect repellent. I guess. Do you use it? See, I never have, but I'm probably fixing to. I mean, honestly, because see, I used to work with only certain people. I didn't really buy from people that I ever really had to worry about it. And I mean, you know, it just never happened to me. I never had a problem with mites or freaking anything. And I still, but I guess once you start buying from different people, like on a whim at a show or off Morph Market, you know, because it's a good deal, or one of the Palm Street auctions for that matter, or any of that. Yeah, that's what he uses, and I'm gonna go buy some. I mean,
I cut them into little squares. I cut them into little cheese squares.
Okay.
You know what I'll do is I'll open a bin and I'll throw it in the corner.
Yes.
And close that bitch. And every other bin has a little cheese square in it. You know, you can talk to KG or any of those guys, and they'll tell you they do the same damn thing.
You don't put it in every bin.
I don't put it in every bin. I rotate it like probably like 4 bins. Every 3 to 4 bins, there's a square in. You know, and I'll rotate them throughout the week and put another one in it. I don't need it because I don't have bugs. But this is just to keep
precaution. No, I agree.
You know,
I agree, listen, for sure, 100%. You know, when we talked about it, and you, me, and Stan on the chat, you know, we had that discussion. I never in a million years thought of using it because I never had that problem. But when y'all pointed out, if you're getting snakes from people you don't really mess with and don't know, it's pretty smart to do that. And I took heed to what you said, and tomorrow I'm going to the Home Depot.
There's a lot of people that also can put up a persona and you would think would have the greatest of things and might not, you know. So there's you gotta watch every aspect. Like I said, we got a lot of money invested. So when you get a lot of money invested, I mean, all of us do. We all have money invested in it. This is fucking a cheap hobby. We all know this. We don't want to see money down the drain. That's the.
I mean, I literally bought this 2-screen Dell Intel mini processor just to do the podcast for snakes.
You know what I'm saying?
the HyperX.
You don't want to see that thing crash. That you know exactly the HyperX. Come on, you got a HyperX. You know.
So all of that, I guess, you know, talking about that could be a challenging thing, I guess. So I guess, Tyson, what has been the most challenging thing doing this so far for you?
I think right now where I'm at, and I was talking to Ken about it too. I'm trying to balance out my males and my females, and I see that I'm pretty much almost in the middle with males and females, maybe like a hand more on the female side. So I definitely got to work on that. Get my powerhouse male, add like 1, 2, 3 females to it, and see which way I could take it, which direction I could take them. Have something come out with the different clutches from those 3 females. So I definitely got to make sure that I'm not going male heavy right now and end up upside down, you know?
My bad, Jay. Yeah, I'm male heavy as hell. I've always been male heavy because, well, I'm starting to try to even out. I'm trying to, but used to, I would throw like 3 different males to 1 female. So for me, I'm not doing that.
Who's your daddy? You like playing Who's Your Daddy?
I did. I used to like it. Yeah, it was fun. But did you see what I just threw in there tonight? Was that GHI Blackhead Heck Clown to that OD I got from you just to see. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, fuck it. It was raining outside, so whatever. But that's him, and that OD Leopard was the only ones that's been to her. So that's kind of not.
You put 2 different males to her, too?
I couldn't help it, dude. Look, the odds, man. Look. The odds that the OD did anything are slim because he's kind of on the smaller side, and he ain't really.
That's the OD female I gave you. So the OD did it. It's gonna hit, and I tell you, she will grab
it. If it does, and I get some super OD Inchy or Leopard, I'd be stoked. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna hate, but I figure, you know, the GHI's been eating. Let him play. You know, let him play. That spot or that clown GHI that Ken I got from him. You know, it's hit or miss with it feeding. I guess it needs more time to settle in, which is normal. You know, that OD I got from you, Justin, it didn't eat for months, dog. Like, it ate maybe twice. And then, like, right when I brought it home, and then it stopped eating. And I was like, damn, and that's why I kept asking you. I was like, did you pair this snake? Because it went off
She
a
could have
poop.
held from last time though, because I paired her a bunch. And like I said, I haven't been using an ultrasound, so I am to the point like now I have the ultrasound coming next week or a week after, whichever order I'm gonna get with Kurt. But I wasn't using an ultrasound, so I was pairing and pairing. So she could definitely gave eggs and still held. So you could have a definitely who's your daddy clutch out of that. Which
Well,
is kind of funny because that went to that freeway. That went to my logo snake. So that went to the
well,
Clover.
I think it would have been too long, and the only possibility of that
I've
happening
been
is
a pastel NC actually, and you put a GHI to it. So if it is a who's your daddy's clutch, that's a pastel NC GHI freeway. So you'll definitely
no,
hit.
it don't work like that. It would have to be one of the
It'd be
others.
one of the others, yeah. So if you
Yeah,
hit, you're gonna hit a lot of the same babies that I hit. You'll see a lot of the dope ass. If I can show you one of them.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, OD, Inchy, GHI, B8, blackhead would
Right.
look cool, would be cool. You know what I mean? So I was like, bam,
Oh,
bam.
he's actually blue eyed right
He's
now.
like 650 grams. I was like, yeah, you're going, homie.
He's
Oh,
blue
yeah.
eyed right now.
Yeah. Here, hang on a second there, buddy. All right. What did you say that was?
This one is Pastel Inchy GHI Orange Dream. I think gravel, not yellow belly.
Okay, let me see the belly. Dude, your little shed, dude, you got it hooked up, bro. The camera looks better in there.
Oh, because I went with the badass lights. I went 10,000 lumens. So
10,000, dog. You got the 10,000 looms.
Yeah, I went 10,000 lumens on that shit. Come on.
Hell yeah, that's
not pretty good. But that's a blue eye though. Really, you'd see a lot more orange. That thing's in shed. It's blue eye like a motherfucker.
Heck yeah. So Tyson, what is your main focus? If you don't, you don't have to say it.
So about that.
But
What I want to know.
I know you seem to lean toward like darker stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen that you like a lot of the same stuff I like, and you it seems like you're leaning toward that way, but I was just curious, and maybe other people wanted to know as well.
Yeah, I started out with the VPI Xanthics. I've always loved black pastels. I'm really focusing on that, the Xanthics. Clown is good here and there. It's always nice to add clown in, but all the combinations don't need clown, in my opinion. There's still some beautiful stuff out there, minus the clown. I think right now I'm obsessed with hypo anything. I love that look where it's always in shed. I love that doll look, especially when they are in shed with those blue eyes. It's just gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
So I think, Xanthic, hypo, working the DG stuff. I just got that clutch this morning.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. What was that?
Yeah, it was my Mystic Potion hit hypo girl, and I paired her to my Super GHI Crystal Hypo male.
That's dope, bro. That's how many eggs did you get?
4, possibly 5.
Okay, so you got one that's kind of questionable.
Yeah,
that's first time mom.
First time for me, yes.
Okay, so it's a proven breeder. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I saw the pictures and it looked like a pretty mother. The mother looks freaking phenomenal. So I can only imagine. But I agree with you about clown. I was actually a clown hater since for years.
I was gonna say he hated this shit.
I just got some clowns in my stuff. Honestly,
now he's finally like
late 2024. Well, it ain't that. I mean, like Tyson said, it has its place, and I think that a clown blackhead GHI, something along them lines would look cool because you've got the clown crazy pattern, then you've got the GHI that's gonna crazy it more. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be cool, and I've never messed with clown, but I'm definitely a dark gene dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to, I'm sure everybody that does it wants a solid black ball python. You know what I mean? Like, I got that boa because she's pretty dark. She's a IMG hypo jungle het snowmaker. I don't know what it is. I don't breed boas, but it's got a black tongue and the dark eyes, and it's just, I hate to say it because people don't like it, but it looks like an evil ass snake. To me, I like that. And so my thing is the darker the better. Like that one that I put in with that OD tonight, that is a dark snake. You know what I mean? Like it is. I'm super happy with it, and I wish I could remember the damn dude's name I got it from, but I apologize if you're watching this. Pass Blue Ribbon, cheers.
Oh.
But I do have some more questions, but I'm going to let my dogs out really quick to run really quick and TT and Poo Poo, and I'm going to let Justin take over for a second. And he had some, I don't know if everybody knows, but if you want to thank Tyson for his service in the comments, man, he just got back off a boat or a ship, a freaking city on the water, actually. They serve like 30,000 meals a day or some stupid number of food. So, hey, kid, well, I'll be right back. Take over, buddy.
So, Tyson, my first main question, because there's one thing that I love out of the Navy that is my favorite food to eat, and it's called chip beef on toast or shit on a shingle. Is that still a big thing that's in the Navy or no?
What is it?
It's called shit on a shingle or chip beef on toast. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Never heard of that?
I'm curious what it consists of.
It's okay. It's shredded corned beef, gravy, and it's on toast.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, we have that.
You have that? Okay.
Do I eat it? No.
It's only called SOS or shit on a shingle or chip beef on toast. It's one of my favorite meals. I love it. I'll eat the shit out of it. But I grew up. My grandfather was a big Navy. I have actually a lot of people in my family that went Navy style. So like I've heard all the crazy stories, the books they have traveling around the world and all that stuff. So have you traveled around? Have you done all the traveling or?
Yeah. I've been on 7 deployments so far.
Oh, wow.
7 or 8. Probably going to go on another deployment early next year. We'll see how that goes for my ship that I'm on right now. But more than likely it'll happen, and that'll probably be my last deployment. Unless something happens, I get transferred to another command, anything like that. But that's probably my last deployment. Because once you go on deployment, then you have to go through all these phases, get a bunch of corrections done on the ship, get the new crews because everyone's transferring like constantly, get the new crews trained up so they could go back on deployment. But the ship I'm on right now was commissioned in 1989. So it's definitely the oldest ship that I've been on.
What kind of ship is it? Is it a battleship? Is it an aircraft carrier? What kind of ship is it?
It's a LSD. So it's amphibious. They call it like Gator Navy and amphib ship. So it's one of the ships that bring the Marines on board, all their vehicles, land and sea, and then we take them on deployments with us.
Come on. That's sweet. That is sweet. So how many different ships have you been on, if you don't mind me asking?
My first ship was a frigate. Then I went to an aircraft carrier, a destroyer, a LHA, which is another type of amphib. I did 2 LCSs, and then I'm on my amphib, which should be my last ship.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, like, technically, how many years have you done technically?
I'm over 22 right now.
Oh, wow. So you've done some time.
Yep.
Heck yeah. So you're basically at retirement then.
Yeah, I requested to retire at my 20-year mark. I got denied because of manning. They wanted to keep the salty sailors in,
right?
Like people with deck plate experience. And then at 22, after my contract was up, I was supposed to retire, but I pulled my retirement day of so I could get a promotion and get a better retirement after 3 years.
Come on. That's smart, man. That military stuff, man, it's nice for sure. Especially when you live and go through it all. Like you definitely stuck it out for sure,
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny because like you've been on both and my grandfather's like they're brothers, you know. So one always argues, oh, the battleship was a shit, and then my grandfather always argues, no, the aircraft carrier was a shit, you know. So they both go back and forth. And it's funny because they both have their golden gloves for boxing and stuff like that, because they did the boxing back in the day on it and stuff. And I'm like, whatever, Pop. So he's like, I can, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure.
So I think with everything, like, stuff changes over the years. So like when I came in 2002, it was definitely more like stuff is not allowed now. You know, I have a bunch of crazy stories that I could tell, like my junior sailors, and they'll be like, what the hell, that really happened? And just like with your grandpa, he could tell me stories and I'll be like, wow.
Oh yeah,
I did not see
there's
that.
some shit that he's told me and I'm like, no way, Pops. He's like, oh hell yeah, you know. You're like, wow, that shit's crazy, you know. And he did the hydraulic, his main thing was all the hydraulic stuff. So all the hydraulic stuff he took care of for the aircrafts coming up out of the plane, or the planes coming up out of the ship and stuff, auto lifts and all that. He did all the hydraulics and stuff is what his big thing was. And then when he left the military, that's what he did for a job, was all hydraulics, and made a shit ton of money, you know, doing all that and selling hydraulics and this and that. But it's pretty cool, like knowing the military and seeing all that. You know, I was expected and I didn't do it, but it was one thing I kind of looked back. I was like, man, what if I did? You know, it's pretty cool. You know.
Like you're talking that flight deck on the aircraft carrier, pretty much nonstop, you know. Like I don't know, once or twice a month, no fly days. You could run, do like workouts on the flight deck, but usually it's nonstop, shift after shift, you know. Right. And it's too, like what he was working on, the hydraulics. They usually have berthings or like sleeping quarters right below that, and you just hear like constant booms, explosions.
That's it's funny because that's shit he's mentioned to me before. That is stuff that I've heard before, where he's like, yep, right where the barracks are, you'll hear the hydraulics going, so you know they're going 24/7. I was like, what? No way. He's like, oh yeah, you know it. If something goes out, we know. We'll wake up out of our sleep damn near and know. I was like, no way. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll know.
So it's crazy. We get accustomed to things and we get used to stuff, like anything in the world. But if the ship is super quiet, like people wake up from their sleep because they're like, what the fuck is going on? This is not good. But all those booms, explosions from the flight deck, he was probably sleeping right through it because it was comfortable to him, you know?
Right. Oh yeah. He did the full, I think, about like what you're saying, 20 years. I don't know if he did like 20, 25, but he definitely did his time in there for sure. And then his brothers did and everything else. So it was all a military family on his side. When it came down to the grandkids, we all kind of were like, nope, we're not all doing this.
Well, that's awesome.
I did though. I came close. I almost really did. And if I did, I would have gone to the Navy. That's exactly what I would have done for sure.
Yeah, it's a good experience with anything. I mean, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, you know.
Right. Yep. Oh, I had buddies that did the Army and did infantry, frontline work, you know, went to Iraq and all that. And I'm, you know, and I see the stuff and everything, and it's not easy, you know. Definitely, I'll put it that way. It's not easy. It's not.
Well, if you want to support your troops, you can go to the Fat Man Nation or Shauna. Get up with Shauna Kana. Get up with Jay from Green Line. There's many others, but you can go get your Deeds Not Words shirts and support our troops, man. Because that's a good cause for sure, man. They're the ones where we have the freedom. That's why we have the freedom to breed the snakes we breed. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Are you a warrant officer or a commissioned officer?
I'm enlisted. I'm a E8, which is a senior chief. So what was cool with that is my grandma, her dad, retired as a senior chief. I went to his tombstone, which is here close to San Diego. And so he was in both world wars, and says it on his headstone right there. And when I made chief, which is an E7, there's like a ceremony and stuff. So she gave me my great grandpa's anchors for his senior chief uniform. So I still have that. And that's
awesome.
Yep. That's amazing. That is amazing right there.
And that's what most of the military, like I work on base at Montgomery. It's Air Force, it's Air Force base, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it's usually most of the time, it seems like it's a family thing that, you know, your granddad, your dad, you stuff like that. It's usually the kids out there are eventually going to be in the military, pretty much, because it's a good thing to do. I mean, if you can straighten up and, listen when you need to listen to people, that's all you got to do. And you've got a damn career and you can retire on it and be set, really have time. And then you can have time to do whatever you want young. Really, I mean, for the most part, younger than I will never retire. You know what I mean? So I know people that are from the National Guard and from the Army that, they go overseas and do their years. And this was back when like Desert Storm and Afghanistan, 9/11 shit, but they go over there, do their duty, come home, stay in for a few more years, maybe go back a couple more times to get all that money that they pay you for overseas. And then they retire at like, 30 something years old. They get in the military as soon as they graduate high school, like those guys. And they're freaking retired before they're 40 years old or whatever, And I'm like, damn, dude, like that's the life. They just brew beer and, hang out, tattoo or whatever. They play music. They don't really have to do anything.
Yeah.
I will tell you, my army buddies will drink me under a table any day.
Oh yeah, the Ranger School in Columbus, Georgia is right about an hour away. That's where I used to work at Fort Benning, and that was awesome. It's way cooler at Fort Benning, but I've worked on the airfield at Maxwell Air Force Base a lot. I've done all kind of stuff on base, but the airstrip was pretty cool.
Yeah,
what I mean? But there's a lot of Tower. This is Red Rocket. I'm driving the big Bobcat. Don't let a plane hit me. You know what I mean? Like you have to literally every move you make is Roger, over, beep, over, Roger. Get 100 feet or 100 yards away from the airfield. There's the presidential plane. I mean, there's been some wild shit, They just got rid of all the jets. Now they got all the
helicopters. Didn't you have a nickname on the base? What was your nickname?
My nickname? Dude, I've had so many nicknames. I've been out there for like 15 years, dude. So, like, I mean, you got Red, you got Cowboy, you got Redneck, you got Jizz Butt, because my last name's Wisnett, and it's military, so they're going to be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it all out there. I was Cat 1 all the way through 10, Cat to Cat 10. I mean, there's been all kind of damn nicknames, but it's fun, It keeps you on your toes when you're down in a ditch doing a storm drain and a damn jet. I mean, it'll wake you up, buddy. Rattle your insides. But hell yeah. Well, I have something I need to say really quick for everybody watching. Go check out Vision. www.visionproducts.us. They have all of your reptile needs, rodent needs, stable cages. You can also go to custom aquariums if you like fishies, and they'll make you anything you want. You can go to customcages.com and you can get a cage made for, an alligator if you want it. So anything you want, they'll make it. So go out there and check them out, man. Vision.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Do what? I didn't hear you.
No, I said hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Drink beer. So is there any kind of like trends that are in the industry now that you came accustomed to? Like, putting a penny in the water bowl or anything like that, do you do anything weird like that,
For customs, you said?
No, like, people that ain't accustomed, it's not accustomed to, people don't really do it a lot, but like any trends that you do for your reptiles, like some people will put a penny in the water bowl for the copper, or, do certain things to, like the trends. Do you follow any of the new trends in the reptile industry?
No, nothing like that. I mean, I consider my children, I guess. I think I'm at like 35 right now, so I still spend time with them, talk to them,
And when did you get your first one that made you start wanting to breed? How long ago was that?
Well, last year.
It is an addiction, right?
Yeah,
It
last
is.
year I started. I do have one that I wanted to show, but this got me. And I know you like this snake right here, but it got me into breeding again.
All right.
Oh, you gotta show it. Let's do some show and tell.
Yes, sir. I was going to tell you earlier, be prepared to show some snakes, but I didn't know what you had going on.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh yeah. He's got some really cool stuff, man. For sure. You want to go ahead and tell her?
This is Aspen. It's pretty much like a cherry bomb. So Mojave, Lesser, the blue-eyed leucistic, albino, and VPI exanthic. So I call it the white demon.
Yeah. So it's basically a red-eyed leucistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, albino leucistic. That is freaking awesome, dude.
That is sick.
And anytime you can do albino and leucism, that is the best looking thing. Like I have a Texas rat snake that is leucistic albino, and it's
Well, for projects, that's the best thing too.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
dude.
If you want to be technical, like if you want to go down the project line, like that's the best thing to have right there. You have both sides, you know.
That's a powerhouse animal for sure.
Yeah. So I thought he was super unique, and I was like, I wanna work with this, try something different.
Yeah, I really like that. So that's a female or a male?
This is a boy.
Okay, yeah, he's doing it. I'm sure you've been putting him to stuff, right?
Yeah.
What have you been throwing him to?
I have a yellow belly Lester, and then hit for albino and VPI exanthic.
Sweet. Heck yeah.
That's him right here. This is like my main guy that got me back into it.
Come on. That was what number was that? Like number 2, number 1?
This was like 2 or 3.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because you said the first one, I guess was the pied.
Yeah.
For your daughter.
Just the normal pied girl that I got for my kid, and then he got super excited, and I was like, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this together, and see where it takes us.
How old is he?
He's 19.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're straight. My daughter's 5, and that's why I do it. So I thought it was a little kid, but yeah, that you actually get help.
Yes.
Know?
Yeah.
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 My help is, can I hold it?
Yeah. Now he spot cleans, make sure the water is good. Like during the week when I'm gone, he takes care of them.
Heck yeah. So what are some like misconceptions you think that people have about reptiles, about reptile keeping or just in general?
Yeah, I think you just like with anything, you have to do your research, and I think hands-on experience beats reading something in a book or reading something on social media that is clipped to fit a narrative, but I do think like when people get pissed off about the tubs and stuff, like with our guys and the ball pythons, they definitely need a small enclosure to feel comfortable. Even I put my snakes in tubs, and if the tub is too big, they won't even move. As soon as I put a little hide inside that tub, then they're good to go. They're ready to eat. So I think that's the biggest concern to me, is that people are uncomfortable with keeping our ball pythons in these tubs, because they say, what kind of life is that? But yeah, I take them out constantly, spend time with them, let them crawl around me, and they need that small space to feel comfortable.
Well, people don't understand also that in Africa, when they find these ball pythons, they find them in tight holes in the ground, under termite mounds, like in tight little holes that they've been living in.
Well, that's any snake. Think about any snake. Any snake you find, you'll pull up plywood off the ground that's been there. There's a snake curled up like smush.
Now, if you really think about it, what snake, if you were to go to the jungle, right, and you're like, all right, I want to see some snakes free roaming, what snake are you going to see free roaming?
You would probably see like a retic or a BC.
A retic or an anaconda, and because it's so big, like you just said,
or a tree.
And there's so many of them, You go to Everglades, there's so many of them, or wherever you go, you're going to see, it's almost impossible not to see them. That's why I said, like, people just gotta
You're
understand. Like, I actually just sold a snake not that long ago, and it's to a great friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, and he has it in a tank enclosure. And he's like, bro, this snake does not seem happy at all in this tank enclosure. I'm like, put a hide in there. He's like, I put a hide in there. I might put another hide in there. And now he has like 3 hides in this big tank enclosure, and it's going to all these different hides, and it's actually more comfortable now that it has these hides. But he's like, bro, it only spends his time in the hides. And I'm
you
like,
remember that chick that her
But it
son
does.
got that? Remember I was telling you she got that pet smart ball python. It wouldn't eat. They were really super worried. They came up. They hit me up because they know I do snakes. So hit me up on Instagram. They live right down the street. I said, come over. So they come over. They explain to me what they have. It's in a tank. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Right. So it's a baby. It's super. It's a baby. So I take it and I get a shoebox. I have a shit ton of shoebox tubs that I just have extras, with holes already in them, the works. I had extra brand new, actually, Zoom Ed heat pads and stuff like that. They already had a thermostat because I told them to get it about a week before, and it still wasn't eating. But it was in that big tank. And as soon I gave all this shit to them, like everything. Because I want them to have a good experience, and it didn't cost me crap to have that crap. So, and I don't use heat pads. So I went out there, got them a little hopper. Its eyes weren't even open yet. And I give it to them. I say, take that home, put that heat pad like this, put the probe on it, then set the damn thing on top of it, bro. And set that damn thermostat and check it with your heat gun. You know what I mean? Told them the temperatures, everything, blah, blah, blah. They texted me as soon as they put that rat in there. As soon as it hit the ground, said it barely hit the ground. I said, it's because it didn't like to be in that cage. But see, now they got it in the cage, and I told them all the perimeters and to get it. If you can do the perimeters right, like you were saying, Justin, if you have enough hides and you fill that tank up, you can do it. But to me, I like the tubs because I don't have to have the excess bull crap. I've had snakes when I started, just like most everybody. I had them in tanks. I was like, I'm not going to do that rack shit. I'm going to put them in nice tanks, and I don't care how long it takes to clean everyone every time, stuff like that, And then I had like fake flora in there, like viney, like fake plant. And I'm telling you, one time, this is all it took. I let that damn rat in there, and that freaking snake wrapped up in that vine, and it started to ingest. It was eating that vine with that rat because the vine was wrapped around the rat, and the snake was ingesting it. So it would have eaten that. I had to grab that freaking fully grown pastel ball python and just start pulling. Like, it was the worst experience of my life, and I'm sure the snake's freaking life. So ever since then, I love the tubs, dude. I love them.
I really don't like glass tanks. Like I told my buddy, I was like, bro, I really don't like it because it's kind of like how the best way I can explain it is like, let me put you in a glass tank and put some heat on one side.
Come up to you every day and
it doesn't breathe. It just doesn't breathe like it should, especially with the heat already on top and pushing down.
Well, if you have one of those nice
heat rises, but so when you have a lamp on one side and it's pushing down, what it's doing is pushing over and rising up the other side. So at the end of the day, that whole tank is like holding a lot. Unless you have a really big tank and one on one side and one on the other side, then that's where you're getting it. But when you have like a 20 gallon or a 30 gallon or a 40 gallon, that just, to me, it just isn't giving it what it needs. It's not. Well, and that's suffocating. Let me put you in a glass tank. And there's one big thing that one big thing I was going to say, like when I first got in this hobby that somebody said to me that really blew my mind. And it was actually Eddie, was like, with my bearded dragons, I was like, well, I think that it needs this. And he's like, well, that's because you think that it needs that, but that's not what it wants.
Exactly. That's exactly what I told that boy.
That's very true. There's a lot of times you think that it wants this, but it's really, it's not what it wants.
I get gray tubs. My
you're like, well, I would be comfortable this way, but that snake's not gonna be comfortable the way.
Well, look at the color. Look at the color of your tubs. They're great. Tyson uses badass. I've never seen it before. I'm so envious of Tyson's freaking tubs. I might have to call Mark and see if they can like do a 666 damn special black tub, because Tyson's like see-through black tubs on his rack are freaking.
Wait,
killer.
let me see this shit, Tyson. Can we see it?
Yeah, they're across the way, but well, I could bring one.
Dude,
Honestly, can we see one? I definitely want to see what this looks like, because now I'm intrigued.
I think he said it's a Zoom Med rack. I'm not sure, but www.visionproducts.us for all your reptile rack needs. So it is a nice rack though, and it is cool looking because the tub color. And that's what I'm saying. The dark tubs are way better for them because they just love it. Look at that.
See, that's cool. Yeah,
that's
like
clean, son. That's clean as hell, dude.
I like that.
I'm so envious of that.
Yeah, that's clean. And they're see-through so much, so they do let light through. They are
but it's a little bit.
Yeah, they're nice, and they're low profile too.
Yeah, for sure. I like those. I love them. And do they have the higher ones and the long ones like that, or?
Yeah, I think because they're Reptizoo. Right? Yeah, they're Reptizoo.
Yeah. I never even knew, and that's funny because when you said that,
cool how they're see-through though, so it does still let some light through. But
it does, but it's super dim. Like you got to think the rack is black. So, and you got stuff sitting on top of it, and then you got the black tint. It's like having tint in your car. I mean, yeah, it's going to let a lot. That's why I like it though, because it keeps them to know what's day and what's night. And I do love the gray tubs. That's what I use. Like busboy tubs, pretty much like you got behind you. But I don't like, the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it don't let a lot of light. It don't let any light in.
No.
But the clear tubs let too much light in, and if you don't feed at midnight, they're not going to eat.
There, the only light you're getting is there's a little space. Well, you can't see with the camera, but there's a little
yeah, for sure.
Right here where my finger's going, and that's the only light you're getting through.
Well, the vision racks have the top, the air holes on the bottom of the next one up. So like you'll have a tub, and then you'll have the damn layer, the shelf, and it's got those holes drilled in it. Yeah, I gotta call Mark and get some of those tubs with the bowls in them, because my snakes are constantly knocking over.
That's all they are, just ARS bins and then mid-Florida display.
Not for long.
But Vision racks are coming. Come on.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to Vision. Y'all better go to Vision Cages and Racks. Go to the website, check them out. They got the best shit. Come on.
The best shit. You know what I mean? The best. How clean is that? Like, come on.
It up.
But heck yeah. So about US Art, right, Tyson?
Yes. Yep.
Do you subscribe to it? I mean, it's not a big deal if you don't. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I have to get on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a slacker too. I mean, I'm gonna be real. No shame, but
wait a minute. Tyson, you have an excuse. This fool next to me has no excuse.
Well, I got my reasons, Justin.
No, I don't want to hear shit.
But I will put it down there for everybody. Go to USR. They're doing some crazy laws, and it's pretty wild.
You're killing me. You know what? I'll buy your own. Fucking hey, bro. You're killing me. You've been doing this longer than I have. What the fuck?
To me, look, I'm not even going to get into it because people are going to fucking hate me if I talk about it. But it is what it is. I mean, I've subscribed to a lot of things, and if I don't know where,
a lot of porn site.
No, I don't subscribe to no. I subscribe to OnlyFans. So .com, hit up Logan Dempster and get your OnlyFans head on Instagram.
Trust me, guys, he gets those feet pics on a regular.
Hell yeah.
The hell yeah, dude.
So does he know that they're not female pics?
And you can go to my merch if y'all want to get a 666 Serpent shirt. I was hoping I had my Black Lagoon shirt for the show tonight, but Tyson's got some killer ass merch. You want to show? Didn't you have a shirt behind you? Yeah. I want to see it. I think that's the Freddy Krueger one too.
Gotta show this first, right?
Yeah. You know it. Reptile World Order, RWO broadcast.
Come on.
Well, yeah, this is the first one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
awesome.
clean.
Freddy Krueger, freaking. Oh,
Yep.
dude. Yeah, gotta have the big back.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
That's clean.
tag list. Yeah, I wanted to do like a shirt each month on what is it, the Printify
Yeah.
website. keep it cheap, so they're only like $20, except for the larger sizes, they're about 22. So I wanted to do like a limited edition run. This was for the month of May, and then I got this one. This one will come out in a couple months, right here.
That's clean. I like that one.
See, and that's what I was talking about, everybody, dude.
I don't know if you guys could see that.
Oh, that's
hang
dope.
on.
That's
Hang on.
dope.
Let me see it. Let me see it again. Come on, that was awesome, man.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That'd be a good Halloween shirt, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyson, you gotta throw the Instagram logo and the YouTube logo handle underneath that. So when you're out in public and you're at Publix and all that, they'll see those handles and they'll immediately to go to Black Lagoon Instagram or Black Lagoon YouTube, and they'll start looking you up every time.
I'm going to start
work.
putting my barcodes or the QR scanners. That's what I'm fixing to do. I think I'm going to do a shirt
Those are
with
good,
a giant QR scanner on the back. And that's all it is. And then the link tree, for all the RWO folks on the sleeve or something like that. But
Yep.
I think that's a good marketing idea. Like Justin said, you wear that shit to the grocery store, people are like, what's that? And a lot of people might just want a shirt. They might. And that's the thing about the merch, and let people slack on it. And I'm slacking on it. I just don't have a lot of time with everything going on. But, if I had the time and I'm fixing to I'll probably put 2 more shirts on there tomorrow because I'm off. But I think it's good to have merch because people might want to buy a shirt, like especially at a show. And that's the thing with Printify that the only thing I don't like, but you can buy bulk. But I used to get my stuff through like Terminus Tees, like the people that do like a lot of band t-shirts, and it's like quality like this, like band t-shirt, good quality shirts,
Mm-hmm.
And but I will say the Printify shirts are dope. And I didn't think the quality was going to be there, but ever since when I started getting the samples and I heard people talking about it, that they got it, it's good ass quality. Yeah. And I mean, I can't complain. The only thing I don't like is the bulk prices, because I like to sell shirts at shows. That's where I make a lot of my money, honestly, is slinging merch. Because I was in a band for the majority of my adult life on tour. And if I didn't sell merch, I wasn't eating or smoking or nothing, drinking or nothing. So I had to sling it so I can sell a t-shirt. I've sold t-shirts off my back at shows to people that they wanted a 666 shirt, and that was the only large I had. So I'll rip it off. The last show I did, I got that monitor. Well, that wasn't the last one. That was a few shows ago. I got that monitor as a baby. Morgan gave it to me, and I held it, and it shit all over me, right? Just squirted all over me. The dude walks up, and he wanted that shirt so bad. I was like, dude, it's got monitor shit all over it. And this was a special shirt the shirt was $35, but it was a special edition, and there were only like 50 of them. So if you bought that shirt, then that meant that you got 50% off of whatever we did in the future, as long as 666 is around. You know what I mean? And that was a few years ago, but I've sold a few snakes to the people, but they really just wanted the shirt. And I did. I took it off and I just gave it to him. And I took his information, and I make all my money from merch, man.
With my pressure washing company, bro, like every day, every grocery store, anything I went in my town, I had a Best Pros pressure cleaning shirt on, and that's where I got all my big contractors, all my my realtors, all my big contractors, like building buildings and shit. Believe it or not, was me rocking a fucking Best Pros pressure cleaning shirt and standing in line at the grocery store, and some fucking big contractor behind me like, yo, bro, you do? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm the owner. And they see me walk out to the parking lot to my nice truck, and they're like, hey, I need some flyers and I need you to come bid some jobs. I'm like, all right, I got you. Whatever, man, They're like, what kind of coverage you got? I'm like, I got, so and so coverage, and they're like, oh, that's perfect. I need you to come check this job out. I'm like, all right, cool. Crazy as shit over a t-shirt. And Alex used to get pissed all the time because every day I wore a Best Pros cleaning shirt. I had collared shirts, I had regular t-shirts, I had them all. But everywhere I went, I had that shirt on. It didn't matter. Knocking on doors every day. I'd do 50 to 100 doors a day, whatever. I was still getting it every time. Them shirts. What you pay on them shirts? It's crazy. It sells themselves. My employees went through them more than anything. My employees were like, I need another one. I'm tearing this one up. I need another one. I'm like, bro, y'all are ruining these. I'm going through them like hotcakes. Quit it.
And Will gave me a very interesting question that I never really thought about asking. If anybody didn't know, Will from the Python portal hooked me up, and he was like, "Hey, man, do you want me to send you some questions?" He's very good at making questions, dude. So, Will, I appreciate you, brother. He came up with this question, and I never, like I said, thought about it. But it says, we got conservation for animals, right? And like I don't know if y'all know, but the bald eagle, it's not on the endangered list anymore. I don't know if y'all knew that, but it ain't, and that's because of conservation. Like they did what they had to do, and now they're off the list. I guess that's what it says at the zoo, and because they had them, and I asked her, and she said no, they're not. And I looked it up, and it's pretty interesting. But do you ever think about that? And if you do you think there's a way that like reptile people or reptile enthusiasts can help to promote conservation, like maybe through education, like programs at schools about reptiles, or what's your thoughts on stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've seen some breeders on the social media, and they're posting that they're going to the schools or local community areas where there's kids and teaching them about the reptiles, because a lot of people don't know about them, or they're scared of them, or they get the wrong impression of them. Yeah. I mean, just like how we feel with tarantulas. I mean, they're still animals, still need to be taken care of. And there's people for everything. So yeah, it's a big part in that. I would like to get to that point too, where I could go someplace close by, give some training on it. I mean, I'm still learning myself too. So
yeah, well, and that's the thing, you never stop learning, and that's what I tell people that are coming into it. I try to always tell people, don't ever stop learning, and never think because you're never going to know everything. And there's new stuff, like we talked about earlier. They used to say heat rocks. There's always new scientific research, so to speak, that is going to come up. Just like blue tree monitors, you're not allowed to do that no more. You can't have a blue tree monitor no more, and that's recent. And science is always changing, and these animals, us keeping them, is to an extent a science project.
And that blue tree monitor shit's crazy, because imagine the people that have a lot of money invested in the breeding.
Well, the ones, that's the cool part about it, and that's what people don't understand about conservation. Like, people get mad and try to take people's animals that have them because they become endangered. So what they did with the blue tree monitor is freaking phenomenal, and I'm so happy that they did it. They need to do it with like the lions and tigers that are in America. When they breed them, they need to do this with them. And what they did is the ecological people of the United, or wherever they come from, right? They got with the people that breed them, that are successful at breeding blue trees. And they got with them and did a breeding program to be able to breed them and release them again back to where they came from. So instead of coming or making you euthanize, because that's the craziest shit, right? Like, okay, for instance, lions and tigers, they're endangered. There's like wildlife organizations that are like, they collect millions of dollars a year and they're still endangered. But they banned the breeding of cubs in America. Why? It's like I don't want to say it, but the TK on Netflix, if you watch that, what's his name says, what's the best way to stop a species?
Free Tiger King.
Free. Oh, yeah, I say free Joe Exotic all the time.
Free Joe Exotic. Free that.
They're gonna free all
Asking
the
Carol, she needs her ass needs a rot in hell.
yeah, Carol Baskin, man, she sucks, man. Carol Baskin, you suck.
You suck. I will tell you right now. You
Yeah,
suck.
the best way
I
to
don't give a
stop an
fuck.
endangered animal from becoming extinct is breeding that animal. You got people that are allowed to do breeding programs with certain crocodilian species in America, certain venomous snakes in America that are endangered. They're allowed to breed them here. But you know why? Because it serves a purpose. They can get the venom from them and they can cure diseases or, retard cell growth or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
But look what Tyler Nolan does. All that milk in them snakes and those venomous snakes he has, that goes to a good cause. All that
like,
shit.
it goes to save his ass. You know how many damn vials he had to have of anti-venom when he got his finger bit? It was like, I think he said it was like 40 or a lot. It was a lot, dude. Like, that's crazy to think, from one snake bite.
They don't just do that for him. They do that because they want to be able to have that phone number to call in case if anything were to happen.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying that in general, like people like him or because
But look at the price tag that he could put on that when he does get that phone call. Okay, I need a $30,000 fucking.
See, I don't know how that works though. I don't know if that's an instance where it's going to save somebody's life, so you have to just give it to them. I mean, because you're the only one. I don't know. I know that when he got bit, he said they had to fly it in. I think from South Carolina, they had to put it on a jet.
There's definitely,
I'm sure the hospital bill from getting bit by a king cobra is pretty substantial. Sure, it ain't.
Just like Chandler. Chandler got bit went out there and fucking got bit, and then
he was in another country.
Yep.
I think that was
played with the same snake. What was it? Not even 3 or 4 days later after he got bit. But that to me shows passion. Like people hate on that, and yes, accidents do happen. I mean, we do know the risk in what we do in this whole hobby, so you can't 100%. You have that still. One, I don't care if you're the best professional. You've been doing this for fucking 60 years. You still have that 1% chance that something can happen. And will it happen?
I'm sure that it's bigger than 1%.
Oh yeah, it's bigger than that. I'm sure.
Yeah, because the more number of venomous animals you have, the more it's like that's why I don't have a motorcycle no more. The more that you do something that's going to risk your life, the greater the chance is that it's going to happen. And if you're taking out 20 king cobras a day, or once a week to clean them, or whenever. The more you do that, the more likely it's inevitable. It's like driving fast on the interstate. You're going to get in a wreck eventually. It's not if, it's really when, you know what I mean? So
you got rid of the whole hog? I didn't know you got rid of the hog.
Yeah. I got the new truck and I got a 5-year-old daughter and, I'm just not that guy.
So you basically listened to what I said in some messages to you and you heard the mindset.
It's been some years coming, I'm 36 now and
it hurts, don't it? It tears the heart a little bit.
Oh, it does. Yeah, no, and I regret it. I definitely regret it. I mean, why wouldn't I? That was I built that bike from a pretty much basket case. You know what I mean? It was nothing. And 97 Dyna Lowrider with the Evolution in it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, carbureted. You know what I'm saying? With
a Harley boy. He like that.
Hey man, when that motor's doing this, you got a good one right there. That's like
see that Tyson. You like a little bit of go fast. What's your?
Oh, he's got some cool shit, dude. What's that? You got that Model T or a Model A? What is that?
Yeah, I got a 1930 Ford Model A Deluxe Coupe. That's my baby right now. But I'm a Ford guy. I have a 2007 Shelby GT, and then my daily's 2014 Focus ST, 6-speed turbocharged.
Okay.
I know.
Tyson came to play. He ain't playing. He'll raise pinks, y'all. Hit him.
Isn't that still that Focus is still a 4-banger though? Is it a 4-banger or a beast?
Yeah.
It is still a 4-banger.
Yeah.
But turbocharged, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that basically
It's
I bet
fun.
it does. Yeah. Every time you shift, it's probably.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to get it all depends where our passions are at the moment, but I still like to get like a bigger blow off valve on it. all that. Make it sound nice when it's shifting.
Yeah. I almost
Nick-
got a WRX instead of that pickup, but I'm glad I didn't. The WRX was dope, you know, but
Tyson likes fucked over refurbished Dodge parts. You
oh,
know?
come on now. I'm a Ford dude. Hey, I'm a Ford dude too, man. Screw him. If he
I'm a
wasn't
Chevy
in
dude.
control,
Y'all
if
gonna
he
gas my
wasn't in
hell. I'm a
control,
Chevy
I'd
all day, baby. Come on. I'm a bow
Yeah,
tie.
I did have a 97 Chevy Camaro RS.
Oh, come on.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
that
That's a good
thing
one
was
there.
nice. They
Yeah,
had T-tops too.
I know.
Oh, you
I'm
got the
just about to say
T-tops?
my stepmom
Oh, hell
had
yeah.
one. My stepmom had the green, what is it like? It's a forest green, that dark green color, and it had the damn T-tops. And I remember as a kid, we was riding around listening to freaking Guns N' Roses in it, you know, or Vanilla Ice, you know, taking down, you know. Heck
They
yeah.
had the T-tops where they had like the full shell that popped off, and then they had the T-tops.
Hers was a split.
Yeah.
Yeah, hers was a split. Yeah.
Yeah, split frame, and they fit in the back in the trunk.
Riding down the A1A, Beachfront Avenue with the T-tops, baby, with the girls in bikinis. Driving Lamborghinis. I'm not going to get into that right now. But so you say you're working, you know, like Xanthic and stuff like DG, and you're excited about stuff like that. Is there a project or an accomplishment? Is this your first clutch of eggs that you have?
No,
Or you had more?
no. Yeah,
So what was your biggest accomplishment this far with your, you know, breeding program?
I think my biggest accomplishment so far is just starting getting back into it. But I really wanted a Xanthic clown, and I printed out a piece of paper, and I was like, "This is my November 2024 goal," and then I just posted it on the wall, and that was what motivated me. And I was a little late, but I got it about 2 months ago. I got my first Xanthic clown visual. So I think that's my biggest accomplishment so far.
And see, that's what I love to hear, man. When I started doing it, I wasn't hitting on nothing. You know, I was doing, you know, pastel albinos, bananas, pinstripes, you know, single gene animals, you know, that sell at Alabama shows. But when I hear people like just getting into it, producing, and I'm going to say it for Val because he doesn't like when people use the word loosely. But when I see people create bangers, their first like real season coming into it, dude, that makes me pretty happy, you know. Like I think that's cool, you know, because it keeps people interested and it keeps people buying snakes. Because let's be honest, this is a seller's market. This is like we're all buying each other's stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Really, that's just really how. Even when you vend a show, you might not sell anything, but you're trading a lot of shit, you know, with breeders next to you, and it is what it is. And that's why I did the lower cost animals, because I mainly sell to pet people, like pet keepers, and where I'm at in Alabama, you know, I'm not doing Daytona shows and, you know, stuff like that. So they're not buying $500, $600, $700 snakes. They're not. So for me, it wasn't economically feasible to do that. You know, it would be stupid for me to do that. But
Honestly, bro, not a lot of people are. I mean, if you want to be realistic, not just normal people are like, hey, I'm gonna go buy a fucking $900 snake today.
no, they're not. And that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is it's basically the people that are like breeding snakes and they're like over 1,000, 500, even $500. The person that's buying that snake is a breeder. And it doesn't. That's the truth, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when you understand
people that walk in there with money that just want to spend the money just to spin it too.
They get their tax money back, and they have extra 500, and they want a cool looking snake. I mean, that snake right there, that boa, that's a pet, and it was not cheap. But I got a really good deal from Boa Fiend out in California. Hit him up; he's a pretty cool dude. But yeah, it wasn't that. You know, it wasn't a cheap snake, you know.
No.
And I bought that as a pet, so it does happen, but it's usually when you got money to freaking burn.
I do want to shout out Jason though. I've been seeing Jason in there, and Genomic is the homie. I will say this, homie. I do want to say this. Jay is the homie. Jason, he's actually in California with you, Tyson.
Okay.
Jay is actually over there, and he's got some good shit too, man. He's definitely got. Jay knows what's up with that paint shit. He knows what's up with that lace shit. Jay knows what's up, man. I will say for sure. That's one dude you would probably like, Tyson Hook. I've been actually wanting to tell Nick and Ken there, but I want to get him in the RWO because that's me and Kurt's buddy right there, Jay. Jay's
hell yeah. Get Tyson hooked up with them if they live near each other. I mean, that's cool.
They do. They're right there in Cali, right there.
Yeah,
So,
he's in Los Angeles.
Yep.
I don't know. I know California's a big state,
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
I don't know, really where anything is. I don't even.
Where you close, Tyson? You close like the Valley, Eureka? Where you at?
I'm about 45 miles from Big Bear.
Big Bear? Okay. So
I'm shaking my head, but I don't know what you're talking about.
You're in the hills still. You're in the hills still over there.
Yeah, we're in the high desert, so it's about to get 115 up here soon, and then in like February it snows.
What are you up there near the Emerald Triangle or whatever they call it? Murder Mountain? Are you near Murder Mountain?
I don't know. We're close to Bakersfield too.
Oh, okay. Bakersfield. Oh, what's his name?
Murder Mountain, bro. You know the worst thing.
Dwight Yoakam, Bakersfield.
I think that's Murder Mountain, but you know the worst thing in California is the Golden Gate Bridge. Not many people have done their deeds on the Golden Gate Bridge.
You know what's really messed up about California is they have actual wild tarantulas. That sucks. I mean, I couldn't imagine sleeping in a tent in the desert on a camping like Boy Scout adventure or something when I was a kid, and I'm freaking waking up with a hairy tarantula on my face.
Nope.
If there was a cliff by, I'd take my dive.
That, and you got all the sea lions too out there, which you don't see everywhere else.
Oh yeah, dude. My buddy Boafine, he sends me videos from California, and it looks like paradise. Like there's sea lions and whales, and like it's crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I need to go out.
Paddleboarders reach orcas out there and shit. They have the orcas come up on them and stuff.
Yeah,
like dude, that would right there freak me out. I'm sorry, but if I was paddleboarding in an orca, because I don't know, in Florida we go paddleboarding a lot. Like I have a badass paddleboard. We go like to springs and shit. I couldn't imagine being out there off the beach paddleboarding and Free Willy came up on me and it's family, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to be dinner.
They'll kill you. Yeah, they'll kill you and not mean to. Sammy said he's got clutch number 6 on the ground. He ain't playing. Sammy ain't playing at bull pythons, y'all.
But all the videos you see, they don't hurt nobody out there on the paddle boards.
No, but they could.
The ones that get hurt are the ones at SeaWorld that are training these orcas and they're stuck in a pool all day.
Well, if that orca jumps up and it could drown you, like the suction of it going back in, if you're anywhere close, it could pull you under and you could drown, Or they could.
In some book where the orca saved the person and shit, like I don't
You're thinking about that movie, man. That shit ain't real.
There's some mythical shit that's gone where it's the orca.
Well, dolphins. Have you seen how they train dolphins and stuff? Like, I do believe that that's why I don't get them in the ocean though, because there's some wild stuff out there.
Have you seen the dolphins with women in pregnancy? And how they circle around a woman that's pregnant, and like sonar and stuff is actually good for the baby, and like actually now women want to go out and have birth to their kid with dolphins around them and shit,
That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I got this banner I want to throw up real quick, everybody. I don't know, it's off topic, but I gotta say it. It's Mental Health Awareness Month.
You know what I'm saying? I got the window open, John. I got a window. Be
nice to everybody, and don't ever be a dick because you don't know what somebody's going through. And if anybody is going through something, you need to talk. You can hit up anybody in the RWO, or you can reach out to anybody for that matter. There's hotlines you can call and everything like that. So I just figured I'd put that on here. It's May, Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yep.
So hell yeah. I mean, that's I went through a lot of the questions that I had. Justin, do you have anything else that you wanted to ask him about his projects or what he's looking for? Are you looking for anything?
I want to know what your future is. What do you really got locked in that mind there for your future with the ball python community and your projects and everything? What are you trying to do future wise? Like go from from where you're at now to 2 years from now, where do you want to see yourself at?
Exactly what you accomplished in less than a month with that building you're in right now. That thing is freaking sweet, man.
It is sweet, bro.
And hearing what you had to say about it before the show started and how you just busted your ass on it, that is motivating to me right there. That's what I would like to be at in a couple of years.
Bro, you're motivating to me though. That's what's crazy. Is like you in the military and the Navy, seeing the photos you posted and shit. Like that shit like motivates me more than anything. You know, like that's what's great. Like, that's like I said in the chats. Like I couldn't have done this without all you guys. You know, you guys what motivate me. That's why I wanted to get the building done. You know, and I talked about it for 2 years. So you know, it's been a slow process. And then I found the deal on financing a building and getting it here, and I was like, oh, I couldn't refuse that. You know, and just took off from there. But no, like that's goals, you know, period. And you succeeded, like, bro, you succeeded hella goals. I mean, you done 20 plus years in the military. Like, not many people will do that, you know.
And you produced a banger on your first fucking year.
Yeah. So I think goal wise, bro, if you got your goal to set what I just did in a building, you'll definitely do it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah, I see it, and I see it sooner than 2 years.
Oh yeah, you'll do it way sooner than I did, for sure.
I appreciate it. I just thought it was cool. Like before I went out to see this last week, you were sending those pictures and videos of what that building was at, and then when I got back from sea, it was like
he's sitting in it. He's sitting in it. You know, doing a live podcast already. It's literally been a week, people. He got this thing in, but well, maybe a week and a half. I don't know, but it was pretty damn fast. He got out there, he busted his ass, and now he's sitting, living large, man. That's what it's all about. Have goals, people. And
a lot of like from sun up to, I could say like there was some. Alex was getting pissed because there were some nights I would sit out here till 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, caulking and painting. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go inside, take a shower, and go to bed at 2:30, and still wake up at 6:30 in the morning. 7 o'clock, I'm at Home Depot to get what I need, and back in the house by 8 o'clock, and working on what I need to, you know.
Yeah, but we do got that shit knocked out, bro. You got it.
Oh yeah.
Now you get to drink a beer. What are you drinking? Vodka. What are you
drinking? Some vodka. Right now I got some strawberry margarita.
Yeah, you go get your strawberry daiquiris, and they come with man puns and dude white.
No, it's a lot of work. It is. It feels good, you know. But it wasn't just me, you know. I got my partner Stan. He was in the chats. You know, Stan's got his collection here too, and stuff like. You know, it's a lot of all of us getting together and just a community, man. Building a tight circle, and all of us, the RWO, us, a whole group, everything. I couldn't do without all of us.
That's
you know?
what I was gonna say.
Sometimes I wanted to give up, and I didn't give up. You know,
well, y'all are talking about motivation, and for anybody that don't know, we have a RWO chat, and if that's something that you wanted to be a part of, we all try to motivate each other. It ain't no bullshit. You know, if you have a question, no one's gonna freaking judge you for asking type thing. You know, that's what I like to hear is we all are motivating each other to do better. You know, I wouldn't have the snakes I have if it wasn't for the people in the RWO. All of us together, we all bring something to the table for everybody, and we're all arms wide open. If anybody wanted to get in that, hit Justin or Ken or me or Will or Stan or anybody for that matter that you see us mess with, and we'll get you, you know. And it's a cool thing. You get hooked up with cool breeders, and, you know, you might see pictures on there of snakes that people are getting rid of before they throw them on market, you know, and you might get a cool snake, you know, from somebody really trustworthy and cool, because we don't mess with screwballs, but, you know.
And I have to mention my brother. My brother was here every day with me. For sure, right there. I mean,
his face was black. It looked like he was hugging.
I can't tell how many times he looked at me. I was like, "Bro, I don't want to do this no more." And I'm like, "I don't either." But we're gonna get this shit done, you know.
Did you buy him a 12-pack and make him a steak?
He's getting it for sure. Okay. He's definitely getting it.
Give him a baked potato and a steak dinner and a 12-pack of Corona, and it'll be good.
I will stick it out and say for my brother, like, you know, like. For the ones that do know, my brother has, you know, issues and whatnot. So it's nice to see, you know, he busts his ass. He made me very, very proud. He did very well.
And you know what's cool about that is you may have gave him passion to do something like that, you know, or
fuck no.
maybe not reptiles, but
I stand today. He was like, "Fuck this shit."
Well, I don't know. I always get inspiration when I help people do stuff like everybody does, like Tyson was saying, seeing you do that, like building that shed or getting that shed, that's motivation for him to do it. And I think that is what it's all about,
Really, what I would love the motivation on that for people to think that shit could take, for them to get a shed in their backyard and look at it and be like, damn, that's going to take me forever. I really thought this was going to take me a month to get all this shit done. I really, really thought this was going to take me a whole full month to get this shit done. And I did this shit in a week. And that will tell you right there that it doesn't matter. You put your mind to something and you fucking do it. You can do it. And I promise you, it's not. It can look like a lot of work when you sit back. You're like, oh man, this is going to take me forever. Once you start getting and doing it, which Tyson, you're in the military. Once there's shit I'm sure you looked at. You're like, bro, this could take forever. But once you do it, you're like, this actually took me only a few hours.
Right. Yeah, it's usually the anticipation that's worse than the actual event.
Facts. That's very factual right there. That's very factual. It really is. So I don't know. It's just like I tell people, it's really not, man. It's not a lot of hard work.
Rat Bastard is cheering to you, buddy.
Come on, cheers. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
To everybody in a bright future. I want to see everybody in this group. RWO, everybody. That's why I say, like, us as a group, we are a great community. We do not stare at each other. There's no jealousy involved. There's no this or that. We all want to see each other grow.
Congratulations, that's an awesome snake. I'm gonna have to go to your Instagram, because I know you got pictures of it. Yeah, that's what it's all about. If you don't have goals, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? If you don't have pride and goals, there's no reason. You gotta have what you do, and then your goals is what keeps you going. Because
Nick, have you not seen people in this community that act like they're there to help you, but at the end of the day, the advice they give you is
every
not
day. Yeah, I see that every day.
That's not, like,
and it's becoming more apparent, like publicly, like that dude I sent that video about the boa. The dude gave him a boa to breed, and apparently some dude gave this guy a boa to breed. That guy that had the boa shipped it to this other dude to breed because the other dude didn't have the snake to do it or whatever. And it was just a big cluster, just mess. And, it became a big deal. And you got someone on live on Instagram compelled enough to get on there and say some of the stuff he said, which is kind of bad for business. But I mean, sometimes it needs to be said, and that's crazy to me, but there's always going to be that, and I like that there's no hate in the people we mess with. There's really not any hate. I mean, yeah, like we talk about all the time, we might not always get along or agree, but we're all adults and we're all here for the same thing. And that's to get people to want to buy a snake, to get into reptiles, to ask you a question. When you go to the supermarket and you've got your shirt on and it's got snakes on it and it's apparent you're a reptile breeder, that's what you want. You want those people to come up to you. We all need to be more positive and try to project ourselves the way that we would want someone to project onto us. You know what I mean? Like, just don't be a dick. Be nice. If somebody's not doing something right, don't jump down their throat. Educate them. Be nice about it. You never heard the saying, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar? Be nice. You know how many people on my YouTube have, I've seen this one dude, okay, long time ago when I just started my Instagram or my YouTube, he had a snake that had a terrible stuck shed. I mean, this snake was bad and everybody was dogging him. I mean, it would have hurt my feelings, some of the stuff these people were saying, and I ain't got no feelings. So they were, and I was like, all right. So I get on there and I was like, yo, dude, this is what I do and it helps. And that's all I said. I told him what I do about soaking it in the substrate and yada, 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 putting press and seal on the top of his glass tank because he was using glass, aquarium, put the present sealed, yada, yada. It freaking shed out. And he was so thankful that I did that it sparked not necessarily a friendship, but to an extent, I mean, we would talk about snakes. We would talk about, and he would always ask questions, and I would answer them respectfully and with respect. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that might not know to do something, and you being mean to them is not helping this hobby. You being mean to them is making them want to just talk shit about reptile keepers or snake breeders. So the more that we can do to be positive with everybody, it's the best thing.
You see this?
I know he's been
All right,
talking
John.
about that in the
I
chat.
know this is John and not Jamie. First of all,
You've been talking about that a lot lately. They must really have it out for you.
they got it out for
At
me.
least they like me. I don't, at least they like me. I guess that's all.
I gotta talk to Vance. I got see John.
Hey, Morph Forge. Daytona's coming up. We're gonna have an RWO Morph Forge Battle Royale.
Come on.
We're all gonna wear our thongs or our banana hammocks, and we're gonna get out there with some P. Diddy oil, and we're gonna wrestle. And whoever's the king of the mountain wins.
Listen, that's Alabama shit with the banana hammock. I have no part to do with this.
Alabama banana hammock's called an elephant trunk roll tide.
So he's got elephant ears and a trunk going on. But the trunk is shorter than the ears, I promise you.
Yeah, you'll see. Now that you said that, you have no idea what's in store for you in Daytona. I might go in there and slip Alex $100 bill just to wake you up in the bed.
Oh yeah.
I'm that dude. What's up, Tom? It is gonna be fun, man. So I'm sure you don't get to go. What's a big show for you around there, like a Daytona? Or...
Yeah, it's just the Reptile Super Show, Repticon. That's basically it that I know of.
Okay.
So I think there's one at the end of June. I think it's at the Pomona Fairplex. Probably go to that one.
Yep. So
are you
gonna make your way to Daytona and come check it out, or what?
More than likely, no.
We're trying to get Vance to come out from California. It is a long way. That's why I was asking, what's a show like that? Because I'm sure.
And you got KG show in LA as well.
Yeah, I did go to that one this year. I think it was the second one. But before I went underway, I took some of my leave, and I think things are going to start ramping up on the ship in like July, and we're going to have a bunch of underways. So.
What are you dealing with down there? What do you got in your arm? What is that?
Just my girl.
Oh, okay. He's had that for like 30 minutes, and I've been wondering what it was.
Yeah.
So what's that?
This one, let's see.
Oh, it's going to be a mouthful, folks.
This is a Freeway Pastel Fire GHI Leopard.
Nice.
So in the GHI is doing that. That's
the
nice.
Leopard too. The Leopard's
Leopard has its play. Yep.
Yeah. That's something I'm getting into now, Tyson, is leopard. I'm really leaning toward blackhead leopard, stuff like that. Stuff that I never really dabbled in.
Come on.
That's a male or a female?
Yeah.
So is that self-produced or
no? No, I got this from what is it? John's Jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here by San Diego.
Look, there you go, Nick. He said he'll wrestle you.
I know, I've seen it, but that's not wrestling. That's fun. That's a good time.
Well, the Airbnb we get has a pool, so y'all can get in the
pool. Oh boy. Yeah, everybody, if y'all go to Daytona in the chat or anybody on the replay gang, hit us up because we partying. We're going buck wild. Well, I will be going buck wild. I don't know what everybody else is going to be doing, but I'll definitely go with you wherever, and we'll have a fun
Justin gets high as shit and puts up the live, and We sit there and do the whole live, and we chill out, have a blast. It's really it's like everybody says, like it's the best way I can put it, Tyson. It's like the breeder show vacation show.
Oh, okay.
It's like everybody comes to the Daytona show on vacation, knowing that they're gonna work also, but they're vacating it up too, you know. And some people actually stay after the show and stay till like Wednesday or Thursday. Some people stay a whole week and go to like Orlando and do all that as well, you know. But it's definitely a good one for sure. So whenever you can and try to make it, definitely try to make it. You'll meet some like Pomona and what's the other one? Tinley, like, you know,
Tinley's a big one.
Tight circles and shit going through. Like this one's so open, relax, and it's just a good time, man. It's a really good time. That's what it is.
That's what, once a year?
Yep, once a year. Yep.
Okay.
Was that August? Ain't it August?
Yep, August.
So it's still a good ways out. I mean, and look, if you ended up, you know, got a wild hair up your butt, you jump on a plane, you got a place to lay your head, you know, and a ride from the airport. I got you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, anytime. And if
You
you're ever
definitely got you got the Airbnb, man. You definitely, and like we all, and it's a big sanctuary. Everybody's got their own rooms and shit, man. You'd have a blast. You literally.
It's like Justin and Alex get they get a hotel, and there's a pool in the middle, and from what I've seen, it looks like it's just they rented a hotel, and it just take over. Just a RWA.
You guys get the same spot each year?
We did last year. We're gonna maybe try to get it this year. I don't know. I have another partner that's involved that we both get together and we kind of throw it together and whatnot. And I'm trying to wait on him on his side and see what we're gonna do. But if not, we might do a little bit things different this year. I'm not sure. We're gonna figure it all out. But that's still all in the working right now. Is figuring that part out right now. Normally we already have it done, settled, but between me and him, we've been work schedules been just fucking tight and everything else. So we're trying to figure it all out. You know.
All right, cool.
That's how I say it too, Mark, for sure, 100%. My southern ass, wrestling world order.
Like Brian said, bring a neck towel. If you come to Florida, which it's torture, you're gonna deal with that 90 to 110 degree weather, you know.
Yeah.
And it's humid as fuck. You're gonna be sweating your ass off. So be prepared.
Is it humid where you're at in California? Is the humidity bad there or no?
Not at our house. It's extremely dry.
So how does that affect your snakes in your room? Is it something you have to deal with? Like, is it a problem?
Humidity is pretty good in there. It's insulated, good. If I need to adjust, I get like the bigger water bowls. See how that handles it. If I need to mist, I mist ever so often.
See, that's the thing I think people don't understand. Like, time and time again, I'll see, and I was guilty of it at a time in my life, but you'll see people pulling tubs out, and the substrate or the cocoa is wet, really, really wet. And I have the cleanest sheds with dry substrate, like for real, dry substrate with a significant, sufficient enough water dish in there. Like you said, it creates your humidity in the air, but that wet always seems to give me broken up, busted up sheds. But if I have the substrate dry, pretty dry, really, and I have that good water in there, it always comes out like a sock, with a little poopy in it. A little Hershey surprise.
Hey, I kind of do, like, if I open up a drawer and I see them blue-eyed, I'll take, which Nick, you know how I do. I do the brown paper towel and then a little cocoa behind the bowl. So I'll take the bowl and I'll just take the whole water bowl and pour it out on the cocoa. And then put the bowl back and fill the water bowl back up halfway and then shut the bin, and you get a good full shed every time.
I do that every time I change water. I dump the water out into the substrate and then, rinse it out in the tub and then stick it in there and fill it back.
I won't do it every time because I'll get mold. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in Florida, we're already a very humid place as it is, so it will mold in there for me. So, like, only when I open up the drawer and I see you blue-eyed, I'm gonna do that.
I do a lot of ambient room heat. I have that radiator.
So you're different. You're different.
So it doesn't. My substrate might be wet for like a night, and then by the time if I throw a little hopper, a little baby pinky or something in there for a baby, and babies, I keep it moister than I would an adult because it is what it is. It's going to drink off the side of the tub a lot, and it doesn't know a water bowl yet. So I keep that wetter, but I have to mist it every damn day. Every day I have to mist it, because it dries that fast, and I ain't mad at it. I don't want it to, like you said, you run into mold, and that's what people say about certain substrate is mold this, and I'm like, well, if you change the fucking substrate enough, or if you don't soaking ass wet it, then you will not have mold.
It's not even really changing it. It's really if you just go in there and stir it up.
That's what I was gonna say. I use
don't let it sit in one spot. I mean, just it's like a sitting pond. You go to a pond that just sits all damn day. I mean, you don't want to swim in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's the same difference. Like you go in there and just stir up your mulch a little bit. You're aerating it, and
like you said, you don't have to change it like that. You just you make it. And I was gonna say, I leave. If a snake doesn't really destroy the cage, man, I might get away with having substrate in there for half a month.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And some of them longer than that. Like if the female goes off food and she's about to lay eggs, dude, I'm gonna tell you, I might not change the substrate till I take the eggs out. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole time, and it doesn't get that bad if you are constantly checking it and maintaining it. Like if you, like Kent from Craft Brew, he always said it. This is the best advice I can give somebody to keep clean tubs. If you go in there and you see a poop or a urate, pull it out.
Yeah.
Pull it out. Because if you don't and you push that tub back in, it's just gonna snowball.
Every Sunday we clean rats and snakes. It's once a week.
Me too.
Deal.
I do Sunday. Saturday snakes and Sunday rats,
We do Sunday. Stan comes Sunday. It's all hands on deck. Alex is cleaning, me cleaning, Stan cleaning, and we're knocking it out, and we get it done. And then we feed all, and after we clean, we feed all the snakes. Boom. And then
that's a good thing too. So Tyson, do you breed your own rodents?
No, not yet.
So do you feed frozen or thawed or live? I mean,
I'm doing live right now. I've done frozen before in the past.
Okay. I was a big frozen dude, and you'll ask anybody, I was pro, and I still am, but my market is pet owners. So for a pet owner, I want them to feed frozen thaw. But for being a breeder now that I breed my own rodents, dude, it is like the best thing in the world. I'm saving like $2,000 a month on rats.
He's loving it. I
love it, dude. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck have I been doing? The only reason I haven't done it is because I didn't want it in my home. I didn't want rats in my house. So when I moved here, I had the screen porch. It doesn't get over it could be 100 degrees in Alabama outside, but on the screen porch with my fan, it's probably like 78, 75, on a hot day, which is perfect for them rats.
Alabama weather, boy. I wish it was like that here.
Yeah, but that's only in the screen porch. You walk outside that freaking door into the sunshine, and you're like,
I can't wait for you to come down in August.
Dude, I've been to Florida. What do you think? I've never been to Florida in my life. I mean,
no, but I really want to.
I've trekked through the Everglades. And I thought I was going to die from the humidity. It literally will take your breath.
It'll take your breath away. It
literally does. Especially if you're doing a strenuous activity, the further south you go, the worse it gets. So if you're in Miami or Hollywood, Homestead, anywhere like that, and you're out there herping, you better have some fucking water and one of them frog towels or whatever.
Yeah, those ain't shit. No.
It helped me, dude. I almost died. I had to eat a packet of mustard.
But I've told a lot of people that work, especially landscaping and shit, you will go through all the emotions working in this heat.
Denial, anger, depression.
You will go through all the emotions working in this heat. You will literally go through every emotion in your head. Fuck this. I don't want to do this no more. Oh, it's like my best thought that I love the best is thinking that it's wintertime. When you're out in the heat, you're just dying. Just picture in your head a fucking coldy ass winter day.
Did you see what they want to hear from Tyson? They want
Come
to
on.
hear. Come on.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Hey,
I'll get there.
we'll make a
Come on.
Southern boy out of you, and eventually.
That's that Florida swing right there. Come on.
Come on.
It's a little bit of country with a little bit of ghetto swing. I don't know how to put it, but everybody was like, bro, Justin, you're I don't know how to explain it. It's just what it is.
Come on.
Well, hell yeah. Well, I don't really have too much left. I don't like to take up too much of people's times. I'm not one of these guys that goes 3, 4, 5 hours, but I just want to say that I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight, and everybody that supports the RWO, much love. Everybody, if you're not following Tyson, go follow him, because I try to post one of his reels every day, because his snakes to me are his whole vibe, everything is right up my alley. So I gotta support my dude, like
Fire.
he's like me, he's kind of evil. It seems like, a little twisted, a little manipulative. He's pretty cool, so I can get down with that. And go follow him and wait until you see what he's got coming. Yeah, I know y'all are all following Justin at Pressure P. That I don't even got to say that, but this dude's got more views than your average Joe. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Does anybody have anything y'all want to say? Justin, what you want to talk about? You got something you want to say to everybody?
I want to say, Tyson, bro, much respect for you and what you do for this country, bro. For sure. Much respect. Like that, the time you put into and all that, much respect, bro. I appreciate that 100%. And I want to see nothing but you climb from here on out, bro. Literally, like you say, I'm inspiration, you're inspiration to me. So it's even crazier, like how it's like both ways going on. I want to see you, bro, take off. I think you will. The t-shirts, everything you're doing, bro, is great. I fucking love it. Keep doing what you're doing. That's the best way to put it. Keep doing what you're doing, And everybody in the chats, thank you guys for coming out. It's Nick's show. We love him. He's a choochie. He's a redhead choochie. That's why I wore the red shirt tonight, because it matches his beard. See? Look at it. Yeah. But thanks everybody in the chats for coming out for sure. It's a great show. I love what we're doing. We're doing a great thing. Keep coming. Please keep coming.
And what do they got to look forward to? What do they got to look forward to on Tuesday? Don't know the RWO broadcast.
Oh yeah, we got LMK. We got LMK. Come catch me, Stan, and Ken on LMK. And then Thursdays, you already know it's RWO every time. And then Saturday,
every Thursday.
Do not miss the Thunderdome. That is the homie, the zombie himself, Vance, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool,
and John and Will too. They're there.
Will, hey, More Forge. Y'all better not be missing that More Forge.
Yeah.
I better hit it up.
More Forge family, the Python portal, Anytime you see a RWO broadcast, it's going to be a fun time.
That's us.
Tyson, what you got to say? You got any advice to give any new breeders, or anything you just want to say?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, what was it, 2 months ago? I didn't know any of you guys, and now it feels like I've known you for quite a bit. I appreciate 2 months ago, I tried my first IG live with the unboxing, and I was like, what the hell is this? This is so confusing. This isn't me type deal. I'm not an influencer, not trying to talk to my phone. I don't even like being on my phone a lot, And now you guys brought me on board, getting more comfortable with this podcast stuff, figuring things out. I enjoy waking up in the morning, checking the RWO chat, getting the video good morning from Sammy. It's just an awesome vibe. I appreciate you two and everyone in that group. Thank you.
Come on. Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. And like I said, I think I've told you before, if you're ever around when we do RWO show and you want to jump on, I mean, you're more than welcome, dude. You have my blessing. You are more than welcome. I think you're the tits, you know, and you're awesome, dude. And no homo, but you're awesome. And
Pause.
Pause. But yeah, for sure. Next, what he said, James B is the guest for Tuesday at LMK. So if you're not following him, go hit the bell at LMK Reptiles so you don't miss that. It's always funny. His jokes are super dirty and raunchy, and I love it. And I love Ken for it. So I'll give everybody one more cheers. I might the rest of this. It ain't but a few sips. And
Boom.
don't everybody needs to go to vision.com, visionproducts.us. Get all your vision. Help them make your vision a reality.
Throw it back up, Chuchi.
We'll see you. What?
Throw the vision. There you go.
I did it for Justin. There you go. There you go.
Come on.
And we'll see y'all next Saturday for the Sippin with Serpents, episode 3. I'm going to keep it a secret. You're not going to know who's going to be here. Well, maybe I'll let a couple hints go. But you don't know. But
Who's going to be here?
Justin will be here. He's a choochie. He's my number one choochie. I appreciate all y'all. Drink beer. Be nice to each other. Breed snakes. Bye, Vision.
Facts.